Hello and welcome to Breaking Free Holistically, Mind, Body, and Soul. It is time for you, my friend, to step out into who God has called you to be. Break the patterns and the cycles that are keeping you stuck, frustrated, and overwhelmed. Let's go ahead and get started. So, today's training, we are looking at breaking free from mindset blocks, overwhelm, and cravings. So the question is, who is this for? This is for driven women, women who know that they have been called for more, maybe know what they need to do to get better, but just don't know where to start. You've maybe put yourself and time with God on the back burner for far too long and know that it's time for a change. You're fatigued, frustrated, and overwhelmed. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired all the time. You have dieted, taken pills, shamed and guilted yourself, and have really good intentions, but nothing seems to change no matter how hard you try. But you are pivot ready. You're an ambitious woman of faith who has been desiring a pivot in your health and in your life and in your faith, but you're struggling to take the leap and really focus on your whole self. And I just want to encourage you to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's from Romans 12:2. Hello, I am Amy Wadlington. I am a certified holistic health coach. I am a mother to two girls. I'm a believer. I'm a world changer, an author, a speaker. I am not a doctor, so I cannot prescribe or treat or diagnose anything. I'm passionate about faith, family, health, and freedom. I'm creative and I'm a lover of nature. But the best part is that I have multiple autoimmune diseases that I have overcome. I've overcome mindset blocks and the life obstacles that were holding me back. I actually managed my three autoimmune diseases, and Epstein-Barr virus naturally through lifestyle, diet, and stress management. And I created a business that I absolutely love. Now I get to help faith-filled women heal from the inside out while staying courageous, a courageous alignment with God's calling on their life. So let's get started. We're going to start by taking a deep dive into how our beliefs, thoughts, and feelings have a direct impact on lasting changes so that you can break the cycle and stop feeling stuck, frustrated, and overwhelmed all the time. We're also going to look at some tips to help you break free from feeling so overwhelmed, how to stop cravings, and all of this is going to help you get more energy and finally feel good again. If you make these changes, you should start feeling better within just a couple of days. It doesn't take long. So before we get started, we need to know where we are so that we can decide where we're going. When you are thinking about a GPS, you always want to consider that before you put directions onto where you're going, you have to put where from you're going from. And the best way to determine where you are now is to spend time with God and evaluate your gains from this season or the previous season, and it will reveal where you are today. I want you to do your best to be very neutral and take out all judgments, guilt, shame, or even pride out. We're just making note of where we are so that we can figure out where we're going. And then where are you going? God wants to give you a greater vision of who He is and the plans that He has for you. Spending time in prayer, in worship, and the Word of God will reveal your dreams and visions far greater than you could have ever imagined. And Jeremiah says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and future." So let's start with our feelings. Everything that we do is to make us feel a certain way. They're actually the fuel to the action that we take. And then our thoughts and our beliefs create feelings, and our feelings drive our actions, and our actions create results. So if we take this girl here, she actually has some choices. The actions that we take create results. And so she has multiple choices here. She can eat the apple. She can eat the burger and the fries. She can eat the apple and the burger and the fries. She could walk away from all of them. But whatever action she chooses to take, she is going to have certain results. And uh, it doesn't change any circumstance. The burger and the fries and the apple are still sitting right there in front of her, but she has a choice to take an action, and that's going to be what creates the results that she sees. And so let's look at the thought model. What is the thought model? It's the practice of being aware and then choosing to change your thoughts so that you can change your results. The thought model is the backbone of emotional intelligence that's taught by Brooke Castillo of the Life Coaching School. After working through the thought model in my own life and allowing God to transform my mind at the same time, it was life changing. And this is a large part of the foundation of the work that I do now as a life coach as well. So, taking a look at the thought model in much deeper level here, first we're going to start with circumstances. Circumstances are facts, they are 100% out of our control, they cannot be changed. We have thoughts about our circumstances. Oftentimes, many thoughts. We'll have multiple thoughts, some of them good, some of them bad, some neutral, um, some positive. There's just lots of thoughts that we have about certain circumstances that we have. And our thoughts create feelings, our feelings drive our actions, and our actions create results. So you can see here that we have circumstances, they are out of our control. About our circumstances, we have thoughts, and then our thoughts drive our feelings. They create the feelings that we have, and everything that we do, remember, is to feel a certain way. And then our actions are what we actually usually try to fix or change. So we realize that we are not eating well, and so we want to change that action and start eating better. That's usually what we're trying to fix or change, and the results is usually what stands out to us as a problem. So our results might be that we are 15 pounds heavier now than we were at the beginning of the year. That might be a result that we have, but we're blaming the actions that we're taking, that we're not exercising enough, or we are um, eating poorly, eating too much. There's lots of different actions that we may be taking that are creating those results. But really, where the what we want to focus on are the thoughts that we're having that are creating those feelings that we're having that drive the actions that we're taking, and then we can change the results. So, as you can see here, the circumstances is I've gained 15 pounds, period. That's 100% fact. There's nothing that you can change about that. What we can change are the thoughts that we have about it instead of beating ourselves up with guilt, shame, and um, uh, just all of the negative thoughts that we have about gaining 15 pounds, or, oh, now I'm not going to fit in the dress that I want to wear, or I'm not going to be able to wear a swimming suit this summer without feeling uncomfortable. And there's all kinds of thoughts that we have around that. But if we start thinking differently and we change those thoughts, then we can create new actions and new results by challenging the thoughts that we have, changing the story that we're telling ourselves. So let's take a look at an example. So an example of a circumstance is that my husband forgot our anniversary. In the first example, our thought around that might be, this makes me think that he doesn't care about us as much as I do. And the feeling is that that makes me feel really hurt. And so the action is, so I don't talk to him. And the result is, as a result, we grow further apart and the issue is not resolved. Now, an example number two, we can change our thought. The circumstance is still the same. My husband forgot our anniversary, but this time we changed the thought we're having. My husband does not need to remember our anniversary for me to be important to him. His forgetfulness is not a gauge of his love for me. He loves me very much despite forgetting a simple date. I can think of 10 other things that he does that shows love for me. And the feeling when you think that thought is you feel loved and important. And then an action is feeling important to him will allow me to celebrate him and our anniversary regardless and make him feel important to me. And then the result is this action will bring us closer together, make our marriage stronger, and maybe even influence him to remember next year. You can only change what you have control over. You don't have control over anybody else. You don't have control over their actions. You don't have control over the circumstances. You have control over your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and therefore your results that you're getting. Now, one other big part of the thought model that is not part of Brooke Castillo, but something that I believe is important, is our beliefs as well. And beliefs come from seeds that are planted throughout our lives. They may be recent seeds that were planted, and they may be seeds that were planted while we were in the womb or and as infancy in our childhood, teen years, and young adulthood as well. We can start from the bottom here that we have seeds of the spirit and we have other seeds. So, seeds of the spirit would be joy, love, peace, forbearance, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self control. And then other seeds that may be planted that help, that kind of concrete us into our beliefs are limiting beliefs, fear, hopelessness, anxiousness, powerlessness, depression, etc. There's a lot of different other seeds that may be planted through our lives. And then those seeds become roots. And that is what's deep down, buried within us. Those are our beliefs. Just below the surface are our thoughts that we have. So people can't really read our thoughts, but we have that right under the surface where our thoughts are right there. And then just above the surface are feelings. So some people can't really tell what we're feeling, but sometimes it's pretty obvious what we're feeling. So that's why it's right above the dirt. And then the fruit or the plant that is grown are the actions and the results that people see, that we see, that are very visible. But we want to get down into the root. And if it's a negative seed that was planted, we need to root that up. But if it's a seed of the spirit, then we want those roots to grow deeper. And so our beliefs are very important to the thoughts that we have and the actions that we take and the results that we're seeing in our lives as well. So negative thoughts and emotions are not always an attack from the enemy. Once the seeds are planted, the enemy doesn't have to spend time attacking you or those around you because your thoughts do his job for him. So that's why we want to make sure that we're very aware of the thoughts that we're having and what our deep-seated beliefs are. If we have fruit of the spirit seeds and fruit plants that are coming up, then those are good things. Those we want to grow deeper. But the seeds that are causing havoc in our life, fear, hopelessness, and limiting beliefs, those we really want to see what the root is, what the seed that was planted. That may take some spending time with the Holy Spirit and asking where the roots are so that we can dig them up and get them out of our lives. And then we can start to change our thoughts and rewrite the story. And we do want to rewrite the story that we're telling ourselves. And Galatians 3:2 says, set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. So what really determines our thinking and how do we change it? We respond to our thoughts that we're not even aware of sometimes that we're having. To become aware of our thoughts, we must be observant and what we're thinking, and we need to be observant with grace and compassion, and sometimes just deciding to be neutral with our thoughts. Just observe what your thoughts are when you are hitting a circumstance that's creating havoc in your life, or if you have actions that you're taking that you're not pleased with, if you're seeing results in your life that you're not pleased with, just sit back and maybe start taking note of some of the thoughts that you may be having. Be very neutral about it. Approach it with grace and compassion because once you're aware of it, you can change it. But until you were aware of it, you didn't even realize that you were having some of the thoughts that you're having. And then here are 5 steps to changing the story that you're telling yourself. You want to first determine what the action or inaction is that you want to change. For example, you may be thinking, I know that I should exercise, but I just can't get myself to do it. And then determine the feeling that you have right before, during, or after the action or inaction. So, right before you decide, last night you decided, I'm going to exercise when I get up. I'm going to go for a walk, and then I am going to do some stretches and lift some weights. Right before you decide, you know what, I really don't feel like doing that. Think about how you're feeling. Is it apathetic? Are you feeling fear or anxiousness? Because if you can target those feelings, then that's going to help you determine what the thought is that you're having about it. And then to determine the results you're getting from the action or inaction. For example, you can't stop gaining weight. That's the result you're seeing because you are not getting enough exercise. And then determine the thought and belief behind the action or inaction with grace and compassion, and possibly even through prayer, getting the Holy Spirit involved, because He knows more than we know, and He knows the beginning from the end and the end from the beginning, and He's not surprised by anything. So the thought might be, I can't lose weight no matter what I try, so why even bother? Um, and then the belief that you might have, that deep-seated belief, is that I'm powerless. So that deep-seated belief might actually be completely unrelated to this thought that you're having that you can't lose weight no matter what, because you believe that you're powerless because of something that happened in your past. And that's when the Holy Spirit can come in and shed light into the darkness and help you root that plant that's coming up, or the weed that's coming up, from that deep-seated belief. And then replace the belief with truth, and replace the thought with one that aligns with truth. And this is the important part. You want to declare it out loud. So let's talk about voice activation. Truth, you want to say, spoken out loud, God did not give me a spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and self-discipline. And so we aren't powerless because God has given us a spirit of power. And then you want to declare also out loud, I am not powerless. I have the power to make healthy choices for my body. Now that is what's uprooting that powerlessness seed that was planted, or the belief that was planted. And then the new feeling is empowered. And your new action is creating a realistic workout schedule and consistently sticking to it. And then you see new results, which would be lasting weight loss. Now, sometimes this takes time. Sometimes it takes effort. Sometimes it takes a lot of repeating. So you may have to write it down on some sticky notes and say the voice activation part a couple of times a day for 6 weeks or so, before you actually believe it. And that's okay. Just keep going until that belief is uprooted and you're believing the truth over the lie. And it's really important for you to know why you're doing the things that you're doing, because um, if your why is, I just want to lose weight, that is not going to sustain you for very long. How many times have you thought, I just want to lose weight? That's my goal. That's why I'm doing this. Your why needs to be connected to your purpose. So my purpose is, God has called me to be a life and health coach and to lead others in health. I must make getting healthy a top priority so that I can fulfill my call and my purposes here on earth. See the weight of that compared to, I just want to lose weight. It's going to help you on those hard days on why you're doing it. And then remind yourself often of what your why is. Put up a photo, a quote, or a vision board. Use a Bible verse, whatever it takes, that's going to help remind you every day why you are working so hard towards your vision, and know your why, and really, really understand why you're doing it and make it deep and personable. And then I also want you to think about choosing your hard. Giving up control is hard. I know, because I am a control freak, but trying to control everything that you have absolutely no control over is also really hard. Choose your hard. And then challenging your thoughts is also hard. Allowing your mind to have complete control over your actions and your results instead of you having control over them, that's even worse. So choose your hard. And then something else to think about is the very thing that you believe is your limitation will be the first thing to soar when you do the hard work. And Philippians 4:13 reminds us that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then these are just a couple of prayer points that you can take to God. I encourage you to take a screenshot of this screen. You want to ask Him, where am I? You can ask God to help you evaluate the past year or your past season, measure your gains, ask Him to show you how He sees where you are. You can ask Him where you're going. Ask God for a vision of where He wants you to go in this next season. He may give you just the next step, or He may give you a big vision. He knows what you need in this season, in this day, in this moment. What thoughts and beliefs do I need to change? Ask God to reveal to you some thoughts and beliefs that you have that are not truth. You can pray to help for God to help your unbelief. This is one of my favorite prayers because sometimes I just have a struggling with belief, and asking God to help my unbelief is very powerful. And then co-create with God. He is the creator, and co-creating with Him and partnering with Him is going to make this so much more meaningful and worthwhile to you. And then take action to get momentum. God has given you the tools that you need. Now it's your turn to do the work. Now we're going to look at breaking free from overwhelm. So I know that this class itself, or this workshop, can feel overwhelming. So here are some tips from getting overwhelmed by this class on breaking free from getting overwhelmed. The 1% method. That is one of my favorite methods, and that is do 1% better every single day. If that means going to bed 15 minutes earlier, implementing 1% of this workshop today, and then implementing one more thing tomorrow or next week, just taking things 1% at a time. And then pick one or two things to work on at a time. That's another way that you can look at it. And then you can also ask the Holy Spirit to help you discern what is for you and what's not, and leave the rest at the table. So not all of this is going to be for everybody. And then let's look at momentum and motivation. Motivation comes with action, and momentum comes with discipline and consistency. If you can stay consistent for 90 days, you will actually start seeing tangible results. But you got to get it's like a water wheel. You got to get that moving and consistently pouring water over it. Otherwise, it's just going to get stagnant and hold still. So you're not going to get that momentum until you have motivation to continue putting in the effort. So tips on keeping from getting overwhelmed. Habit stacking is absolutely one of my favorite. Here are some tips that you can screenshot, but habit stacking is just adding something on to a habit that you already have. So you already have the habit of brushing your teeth 2 or 3 times a day. You can add on remembering your supplements. Every time you brush your teeth, take your supplements. You go to bed every night, and so you can add on a habit of stretching. Every night before you go to bed, you're going to sit on the floor and you're going to do some stretches, or drinking your water first thing when you wake up. You can put a bottle of water next to your bed. But as you can see, they're things that you're already doing. You're just stacking on top of one another. For me, every time I go to the bathroom, I chug a glass of water, and then I refill my cup. And so that consistently keeps me going to the bathroom, but it consistently keeps me drinking my water. I actually keep my supplements next to my tea. You can put them next to your coffee maker, next to your toothbrush. Put your Bible and journal next to your phone. And so instead of picking up your phone in the morning, you pick up your Bible, if Bible and journaling is not something that you are consistently doing. And then after you pour your coffee each morning, you can meditate or pray or recite a verse for 1 minute. While you're waiting for your coffee to brew, you can read a couple of verses out of the word. And then after you take off your shoes, you can immediately change into your workout clothes. After you sit down to dinner, say one thing that you're grateful for that happened today. So as you can see, you're already doing these things. Just start stacking habits on top of it, and then you will start seeing tangible results. Also, prioritize sleep. Overwhelm comes when you are not getting enough sleep, and setting realistic goals for sleep, like looking at that 1% rule, just go to bed 15 minutes earlier and get up 15 minutes earlier. If you're trying to change your schedule, or sleep for 15 minutes longer tonight than you did last night, start doing increments, but making sure that you're getting enough sleep. And then if you're tired, you will get less done and you'll get more done poorly. So it's really important that you're prioritizing sleep to keep you from getting overwhelmed. You can listen to worship music at bedtime, turn off electronics. If you don't have teenagers, you can unplug Wi-Fi. I have a teenager in my home and we're all on different schedules in our home. So we keep the Wi-Fi plugged in. But if you have younger children or no kids at home, absolutely unplug the Wi-Fi while you're sleeping. Stop caffeine after 3 p.m. Check your magnesium levels if you're having trouble sleeping or falling asleep, and possibly supplement if you need to, or take Epsom salt baths. You can use Calm. It's a supplement drink that you can do in the evenings, magnesium. You can use essential oil such as cedarwood and lavender while you sleep. Read for 20 minutes before bedtime. Those are just some things to help you get to sleep. And then a lot of times, overwhelm is caused by planning to fail. So with meal planning, for example, failure to plan is planning to fail. You will get overwhelmed if you're not planning ahead of time. I know this from experience, but you can get my meal planning gut freebie that is super, super simple meal planning at bit.ly/momhack. And so I just want to kind of go through a whole scenario with you of what a typical day looks like when you're overwhelmed, or what it could look like. And does this sound familiar? You wake up tired, running late, so you stopped at Starbucks for a drink and a snack after dropping the kids off at school. Oh, shoot, left my lunch at home in the fridge. I'll just run out during my lunch break and grab something. My day got away from me, and here it is 3 p.m. I didn't have time to get lunch, so I just got a snack from the vending machine. Why are my coworkers all being so annoying? It's 5 p.m. and I'm famished. I will just stop at Chick-fil-A for dinner tonight because I'm too tired and too hungry to decide what we're having for dinner. Why are my kids acting like little maniacs? I typo there. My husband never helps with them. I'm so tired of this. They are all driving me insane. I need a glass of wine to calm my nerves. It's 9 p.m. No idea how homework got done, but it did. The kids are in bed and I am so hungry. I need to finish that ice cream before I start my diet on Monday anyway. So you eat the ice cream. It's 11 p.m. I'm wide awake. I should be sleepy. Tomorrow I will do better. And then we don't plan, and tomorrow is not any better. This is just the cycle that we get into where we're not planning ahead of time, and then we just have a downward spiral throughout the whole day, and it just doesn't get better. And then another way to break free from overwhelm is meditating on the word. Joshua 1:8 says that this book of law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous and you will have success. When we have the words on our mind, we can combat lies, we can combat our emotions, calm our nerves, reduce stress, and think about the goodness of God and not the troubles of the world. It gives us a new perspective and puts us in a posture of gratitude instead of overwhelm, and that will make our way prosperous and we will have success. And 2 Timothy 1:7 said, for God gave us a spirit of, not a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. And then another way to keep from being overwhelmed and breaking free from overwhelm is stop multitasking. Multitasking is merely the opportunity to screw up more than one thing at a time, is what Gary W. Keller says. And Josh Medina said that the brain cannot multitask. Multitasking is when it comes to paying attention, it's a myth. The brain naturally focuses on concepts sequentially, one at a time. To put it bluntly, research shows that we cannot multitask. We are biologically incapable of processing information rich inputs simultaneously. Studies show that a person who is interrupted takes 50% longer to accomplish a task. Not only that, he or she makes up 50% more mistakes. So if you are scrolling through your phone while you're listening to this workshop, I encourage you to put your phone down and stop trying to multitask, because you're not getting all the information that you need to break through. And then also, I want to encourage you to outsource whatever you can take off your plate, take it off of your plate. Even in Proverbs 31, the Proverbs 31 woman that we all look up to and aspire to be like, she had maidens who she outsourced some of her work to. It says that
Phone 1 disconnected.
Says that she gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. And so she's outsourcing. You can give work to other people that you typically would do. You can ask your family for assistance with doing the dishes, the daily chores, cleaning bathrooms, cleaning bedrooms, doing the laundry. I started asking my daughters to start doing their own laundry when they were about 12 years old. They started doing their own laundry because it was just something I didn't have time to do. And then finish what's almost done. Get what's on your plate off of your plate. Anything that's almost done, finish it first. If you're struggling, go back to the thought model. What is keeping you from finishing it? And work on that, and then get it done. And then brain dumping also helps with overwhelm. Write down everything on your mind before you go to sleep, and again when you wake up in the morning, and keep a notebook by your bedside. That's really going to help with that overwhelm. And also, you want to set boundaries. You want to set boundaries for other people and for yourself. So you want to set boundaries around emotional energy, time, personal space, sexuality, morals and ethics, material possessions, finances, and social media. Boundaries can be set with family, friends, romantic relationships, coworkers, strangers, even yourself. Visualize and name your limits. Openly communicate your boundaries. Reiterate and uphold your boundaries. Don't be afraid to say no. Take time for yourself. A bonus is deal with difficult people. And that is tough to do, but sometimes we have to deal with those difficult people in our lives. And then for yourself, have a set schedule and stick to it. Know your limits and stick to them. Allow yourself to clock out for the day mentally as well as physically. And you can even create a visual for yourself and others. Draw a circle and write in the circle what is okay, and then outside the circle what is not okay. And you can say, every time you do this, you are crossing over the boundary and it is not okay. And set those boundaries. And that's really going to help with a lot of overwhelm when you set those boundaries. And then also, of course, you want to honor yourself, giving yourself grace, being patient with yourself, and knowing when it's time to say enough. Take the day off, relax, and breathe. It's going to be okay. And then also ask yourself, are you overstimulated? Maybe it's not ADHD, depression, or anxiety. If your sleep pattern has changed, or you're sleeping too much or too little, even when you have gotten enough sleep, you still feel tired. One thing that I read recently is that when we do a different schedule on the weekends than we do on the weekdays, say, for example, on weekdays, you go to bed at 9 o'clock every night, and then on Friday and Saturday, you stay up till midnight, you're actually signaling to your body and your cortisol levels that something is wrong. And so your cortisol levels spike. And the cortisol actually is a fat storing hormone. And so we want to be careful with setting that off and causing additional stress to our lives. It's going to create overwhelm, stress, and we're going to store fat. So those are three things that we do not want in our lives. So sticking to the same schedule. That's why experts have always said it. They just didn't put it in terms that made sense to me. But when I read that, that made sense to me. If you feel irritable, even at things that really shouldn't upset you, you find yourself crying more easily, sometimes for no reason at all. You crave downtime all the time. Everyday chores like doing the dishes become nearly impossible to manage. Looking at your to-do list fills you with dread. You often find yourself zoning out randomly and have trouble focusing on the present moment. You're experiencing physical symptoms and ailments that you don't seem to have any clear cause. Now, these are triggers of overstimulation and symptoms of overstimulation, but they're also symptoms of ADHD, depression, and anxiety. So those may be official diagnoses that you actually have, but you also might be overstimulated. And sometimes we just have to give ourselves grace and realize that we've got to set boundaries with ourselves and with others because we're overstimulated and it's too much. One of the best examples that I can give you is that we all wake up with a cup of water, and inside that water is a little bit of tolerance. We have stress in our everyday lives. So say, for example, you woke up with a stuffy nose, you didn't really sleep very well, the dog wanted out 3 or 4 times through the night. So you woke up with a little bit of stress already. And then, so your tolerance level is between where you're filled up already. And then you have added stress throughout the day. The more stressed you wake up, the less tolerance you're going to have. If you have any sort of past trauma, if you're already overstimulated, already have ADHD, depression, or anxiety, or anything like that, your tolerance level is going to be much lower for any added stress. And then your cup overflows with things throughout the day because your tolerance is lower or because you've added in so much stress throughout the day. And that's when we become overstimulated and it's time to take a break. Psalm 34:17 says, "When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all of their troubles." And then just remember that you can only change what you have control over. Most of the stresses and overwhelm that we carry is actually not ours to carry. In Matthew 11:28-30, he says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So the things that we are not meant to carry, I encourage you to sit with God and ask him what's his and what's yours, and let him worry about the things that are his. Because some of the things that we worry about and that we carry and we get overwhelmed with just are not ours to carry. And then something to think about: God did not create us to be busy, fatigued, overworked, and feeling deprived all the time. It's time to put overwhelm on the altar. And Matthew 19:26 says, "But Jesus looked at them and said, 'With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible.'" So put those things on the altar that are causing overwhelm, because it's time to change. And then here's some more prayer points for you. Do I use my time wisely? Is there anything that I do that needs to be laid down? What thoughts and beliefs do I need to change? Help my unbelief again. Co-create with God some more and take action to get momentum. God has given you the tools you need. Now it's your turn to do the work. Ask him what is the one next thing that you should do, and do that. And then after that, and after you've done that, do the next thing. Now we're going to talk about breaking free from cravings. The diet industry does not care about you. It's a $60 billion industry with a 95% failure rate. Americans are still willing to try anything at any cost, is a quote from Melissa McNarma. Understanding bioindividuality. So I want you to understand that there are over 100 different dietary theories, and it takes time, but find one that works for you. Just because something works great for your friend doesn't mean that it will work well for you. What is healthy for you may be poison to someone else. I'm celiac, so I cannot eat whole wheat, but organic whole wheat is a very important grain that most people need in their diets. So what works for one person may not work for another, and there are no rules. I know a vegan who likes and eats eggs, so there's no rules. You can't break the rules. There's no cheating. You find what works well for you, and you continue doing it. And these are some trends that I think that are worth trying. Focusing on gut health, your serotonin, which is your happy hormone, and actually all of your hormones, but your happy hormone is an important one, and your immune system are affected by your gut health. You want to look at maybe possibly going gluten-free for a season, dairy-free for a season, see if those things are causing inflammation, cutting out sugar, and then slowly adding them back in. If you need help with an elimination diet, I'm happy to help you with that. And then you can see what is triggering you physically. Intermittent fasting, that is not skipping breakfast, because it is important that we're getting plenty of nutrients throughout the day, but if you can intermittent fast, which means stop eating at like 7 p.m. and fast for 12 or 16 or 18 hours. And then, so if you're doing 12 hours, you eat again at 7 a.m. That's just giving your body a window to digest the foods that you have, restore from the digestion. And when you're getting good, adequate sleep, it gives your body an opportunity to produce growth hormone, which helps you stay young and healthy. But when your body is working on digesting food through the night because you had a snack at 10 p.m. right before you went to bed, or 11 p.m. right before you went to bed, you're not getting adequate rest. You're not getting the hormones and immune system work that your body needs. And so intermittent fasting is very, very healthy and good for you to do. Low carb, not no carb. Get your carbs from veggies is what I usually recommend. And look into root cause medicine. Functional medicine is great. And then that way, instead of treating symptoms, you're looking at the root cause. And then self-care. And self-care is not just getting mani and pedi. There's a lot to self-care, and that includes all of those things we talked about with breaking free from overwhelm. And then the question is, are you ready to get off the blood sugar roller coaster? So these are some common signs of frequent blood sugar or glucose spikes: cravings for sweet food, constant hunger, fatigue, poor sleep, acne, brain fog, headaches and migraines, out of whack hormones. So that includes PCOS, PMS, difficulty losing weight, worsening menopause symptoms, prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, and type 3, which is Alzheimer's. Frequently cold, especially your fingers and toes, acid reflux, inflammation, energy crashes, wake feeling hungry or tired, anxiety, depression, mood disorders, need caffeine to get through the day, shaky and lightheaded if meals are delayed, non-alcoholic fatty liver, you're hangry throughout the day, and then insulin resistance. And that one is one that we are going to focus on today, because if you can get your insulin resistance under control, it typically will take care of a lot of these other things that are on the list as well. Insulin resistance, 1 in 3 Americans are insulin resistant. You should have all of your hormones tested, but if you can't lose weight, you're highly likely insulin resistant. Frequently, if you can get your insulin resistance corrected, all of your other hormones fall into place as well. And these are ways to tell if you're insulin resistant. You can get tested by your doctor. They can tell typically from blood test. but you don't have to be tested by your doctor because all of these are also symptoms of insulin resistance. And you'll see that a lot of them match up with the uh, glucose spikes, and that's dark spots under your neck, armpits, and skin folds, high morning blood sugar, fatigue, unable to lose weight, belly fat. If you look down and your belly is protruding at all, you are most likely insulin resistant. Fatty liver or elevated liver enzymes, frequent nighttime urination, frequently hungry, you don't feel satisfied after a meal, or you're sleepy after eating, PCOS, acne, moody, craving carbs, and a few more that are out there, but those are the top ones. 5 ways to lower your insulin is a low-carb diet. Get your carbs from veggies, intermittent fasting for 16 to 18 hours if possible. Only eating when you're hungry. That's a tip to intermittent fasting that is good. Exercise. You can do strength training, HIIT, or heavy lifting. It's better than running. The goal is actually not to burn calories. And if you're doing high cardio like running, that's just burning calories, but you want to work the muscles. And then reduce stress, breathe, self-care, using essential oils. There's lots of tips to reducing stress and sleeping for 8 to 9 hours at night. And then the benefits of a flatter blood glucose curves is you get more energy, fewer cravings, less hunger, slower aging and fewer wrinkles, improves fertility, less inflammation, clearer skin, healthier heart, healthier brain, reduced risk of diabetes, cancer, fatty liver disease, and Alzheimer's, and weight loss. So these are some tips. I recommend you screenshot this one for balancing your blood sugar. You don't have to do all of these, but if you choose 1 to 3 per day per meal, you will see a drastic improvement in your energy. You'll have fewer cravings. You may begin to lose weight pretty quickly, and you'll start getting, you'll still get to enjoy eating the foods that you love. Drink apple cider vinegar and 10 ounces of water before you eat. I usually do a tablespoon or 2. Sometimes I add lemon just because it tastes good. Eat foods in the right order. Do fiber first, and then protein and fat second, and then starches and sugars last. Add a green starter to all of your meals. So just eat a little salad. You could put a tablespoon of olive oil and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and then you've killed 2 birds. You've got the apple cider vinegar and your greens at the beginning of your meal. And then stop counting calories. Calorie counting is not doing you any good because the same calories of a donut, if you eat a 200-calorie donut and 200 calories of broccoli, what it does to your body is completely different. So calorie counting is not going to do you any good with your blood glucose. Eat a savory breakfast. If you can do avocado toast, eggs, and bacon is much better than having yogurt with fruit or a smoothie, something sweet like that. After you eat, move. Go for a 15-minute walk, dance, jump, sweep. As long as you're moving for 10 or 15 minutes, that's going to help your blood sugar from spiking. If you have a snack, eat savory. And never eat naked carbs. Always combine carbs with fat, protein, and or fiber. And if you can, eat those first. So for example, eat a handful of almonds and then eat an apple. And here's a couple of examples. This is by somebody, the Glucose Goddess on Instagram, and she does a continuous glucose monitor. And here she ate 150-calorie donut and then 150 calories of Greek yogurt. So she had a huge spike and a huge drop, and same amount of calories. Here she ate a bowl of spaghetti, and then here in this one she had arugula salad and then spaghetti. Instant noodles, huge spike, but instead she had instant noodles with a cup of spinach and a cup of chicken, and that was a much lower spike and a much less of a drop. Pair with nut butter compared to one big pear. A pastry compared to toast with avocado, an apple and banana and strawberry smoothie compared to an omelet and avocado. So as you can see, you don't have those huge spikes with doing these tips. And then you don't have the huge drop, which is causing that 3 p.m. crash in the afternoon for so many of us. And then let's talk about snacking, because we talked about intermittent fasting. Make sure you aren't thirsty. Only eat if you're hungry. And then always add a healthy fat to your meals and snacks. If you're truly hungry, of course, eat a snack. But I really think that it's important to stick to 3 meals a day without snacking, if possible. But if you're hungry, eat. Honor yourself in that way with grace and compassion. It's okay if you're hungry. But when you do have a snack, eat real whole foods. Eat apples with nut butter, for example, nuts and seeds, fruit, no sugar added beef jerky, cream cheese and bell peppers, chia pudding, avocado toast with whole grain or sprouted bread. Even sourdough bread is more healthy for you than just plain old white or wheat bread. And then Philippians 4:13 reminds us that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then how to stay consistent. Remember to go back to your why, make a plan that's doable. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Have an accountability partner or a coach that you hire, or have a friend to help you. Set small, achievable, incremental goals that you can cross off along the way. If you fall off the wagon, hop back on as quickly as you can. One day off, one bad week, or one dessert does not equal failure. You can only fail if you quit. And then think about distractions or possible roadblocks that will come up and have a plan on how to navigate those before they actually happen. If you're planning on going on vacation, decide what you're going to eat, what meals you're going to eat. If you're going to just put everything on the side and try to stick to the 10 tips to keeping your blood sugar from spiking, but you're still going to have dessert, just eat the dessert last and start your meal with the salad, and then go for a 10 or 15-minute walk. There are no rules, remember that, but just set yourself up for success by having a plan. And then here's a mindset shift for you to change that thought process that you might be having. I'm going to get healthy to lose weight, instead of I'm going to lose weight to get healthy. And then remember that motivation doesn't come first. Action comes, and then motivation follows. And then one tip that I want to leave you with this portion is, don't eat when you're overly stressed. When you have high levels of cortisol, so cortisol is our stress hormone that gets pumped out when we're stressed, your body is designed to store fat for survival purposes. This is the way our body was designed. Try the previous slide techniques, having a plan and everything before eating if you are just in a stressful season in your life, or wait and to eat until you feel more calm. So if you just had a fight with your boss, don't go to the vending machine and grab a snack. If you just had a fight with your spouse, don't go to the refrigerator and have a snack. Instead, try going for a walk, doing some breathing exercises. Once your body is calm, then if you're still hungry, of course, you can eat. But this is going to help break that pattern of emotional eating. But if you realize that emotional eating, when your cortisol levels are high, you are telling your body to store fat. And so you're doing the exact opposite of really what you want to do. So don't eat when you're overly stressed. Now, I want to talk about the plan here going forward. We're going to talk about my 6-phase system, where you're going to build your mind, body, spirit in alignment with what God has called to you to, and walk you through the natural growth and healing process. Know how to know what God has called you to. We're going to help tap into your identity and uncover what God is trying to call you into through your very own experiences. How to heal from the inside out. You're going to learn everything you need to know to heal your body from the inside out, get more energy, fewer cravings, and lose weight without dieting. How to overcome mental blocks. It's time to take your power back and learn your triggers to overcome mental blocks. How you can officially work with me. Let me share you a special opportunity that will help you build your health, mind, body, and spirit in the next 120 days. And then we're going to look at some common questions as well. So first of all, the 6-phase system. This is my 6-phase build method. God is a God of order, not of chaos. My 6-phase build method includes the foundation stage all the way to building the frame, enclosure, refinishing, the practical completion stage, and the moving in stage. So we go everywhere in this 6-phase build model from building your house. We want to make sure that your house is built on stone or on a firm foundation instead of building your house on sand. So we go through your identity, your why, your goals. We talk about journaling and we go deep into the thought model. And then we have the frame stage where we talk about essential nutrients, boundaries, stress, hormones, and forgiveness, and the power of forgiveness. And then in the enclosure stage, we talk about gut health, drainage, pathways, vows, and agreements. And then in the pre-finishing stage, we talk about your mood, body image, emotional eating, taking captive your thoughts because you are wonderfully made. And then in the practical completion stage, we talk about sleep, movement, self-care, relationships, and warfare. And then in the moving in stage, this is the most fun part of building a house, right? Is you get to move in, and then so we will celebrate with joy, transformation, creativity. We will have a celebration, and then we dream with God for the future as well. So this is my 6-phase build method. It's a course that I've created, and just to jump in a little bit about what some of my clients have said. Deborah said, Amy is extremely knowledgeable, very reasonable in her approach, which keeps me from getting overwhelmed. And she cares about me and my progress. She is interested in all aspects of my health and is always there with encouragement and excitement or excellent ideas to help me move forward. I'm in a much better place now with both my health and my perspective on how my health affects all aspects of my life. I'm so thankful for Amy's expertise and wisdom. So we want to approach this with health, vibrancy, energy, clarity, joy, and a sound mind. They're all part of God's plan for you. Are you ready to feel inspired and empowered, take exquisite care of your body and soul, all in co-collaboration with God so that you can live an abundant life that you were created for? How does your health impact your calling? We will talk about clear thinking and you'll get more energy. You'll have the ability to take captive your thoughts. You'll have restored relationships with yourself, with others, and with God. You'll have spiritual growth in surrender. And ultimately, you will have transformation. And this is Katie. Katie said, Amy is well-rounded approach and multifaceted knowledge equates to valuable insights for spirit, soul, body, and all areas of life. Having her support in my health journey helped me stay consistent in moving towards my goals. I lost the weight I gained during the pandemic, and I'm continuing to improve my health. And Mark J. Chirona says, transformation is not a formula. It's an obedience to the nudging of the Holy Spirit, who is the agent of transformation. My coaching is always bio-individual. So we already talked about what bio-individuality is when it comes to dieting, but my whole coaching approach is bio-individual as well, there's no one way to do the coaching program. You have the 6-phase build course that is self-paced. And then you'll also have coaching as well, coaching calls that are always going to be different no matter, it just depends on where you are in your life. So it's always going to be bio-individual. And how to heal your body from the inside out. The secret sauce is in co-collaboration with God, because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And co-collaboration equals God's perfect will. Let's go back to high school and those fun team projects that we all love so much. When you work with a team, when you work with God, you have better problem-solving skills, increased potential for innovation, enhanced personal growth, less burnout, boosted productivity, and smarter risk-taking. And you can't heal completely without authentic connection. Jesus thrives on relationship. Faith doesn't come without connection. Your testimony is your connection to your calling. So God uses all things for our good and his glory. Your story, including your healing journey, is your connection to your call. And connection plus holistic health equals the ultimate healing journey. And that's what this is. And Jamie says, I appreciate Amy and her spirit of encouragement. Whether talking about health, wellness, or just hearing about her personal goals, Amy offers a genuine and gentle spirit that spurs you on for growth. My question is, are you ready to heal from the inside out so that you can step into who God created you to be? And it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. So with my coaching, you have 3 options. You can do 8 one-on-one coaching sessions. You can do 16 one-on-one coaching sessions. With the 16 one-on-one coaching sessions, you can do weekly or biweekly sessions. The 8 one-on-one sessions are biweekly. And then you also have hybrid group coaching. That includes group coaching plus the course, the 6-phase build method course. And in the hybrid group coaching program is included for free with both of the one-on-one options. Teresa says, Amy has been a huge blessing in my life. She's very knowledgeable about health inside and out and takes every opportunity to help women and their health and healing. And so this is the group coaching method. It's called the Vibrant Woman, and the Vibrant Woman signature course. It's 2 monthly coaching calls per month for 6 months, private online group access for support and accountability, my signature 6-phase build method. Each phase has 5 modules that you can do at your own pace, and each phase includes a workbook. Plus, you get lifetime access of the program as long as the program is active. If life happens, you can stop and jump back in when you're ready. And I encourage you to schedule a discovery call with me today. You can do that at bit.ly/book-a-call-with-Amy. In the group coaching agenda, you get 2 monthly application calls. Twice a month, we'll meet as a group, go over special trainings, creating plans, coaching. We'll discuss what's working and what's not. We'll follow the course format somewhat, but since it's self-paced, if you're not on the same phase as everybody else, we may look at just changing things up a little bit. It's bio-individual, so whatever the group needs is where we'll take the coaching. And then included with all one-on-one coaching packages, if you need more hand-holding, coaching, and cheerleading, if you sign up with a one-on-one coaching program, you get group coaching and the build course for free. And then you get community and accountability. We were created to be in a community, and this private group is for everyone walking the same path, but you get lifetime access. So my prayer is that you will grow and mature in your walk and begin to share testimonials of healing within the group. Can you imagine the healing and growth that will be in that group if we just continue growing and continue this program for a lifetime? And then monthly Bible studies are included as well. Once a month, join all of my communities for a chance to study the Bible. We pray for our peers, work through pain or praise moments in our lives. We also address the culture and the state of the world and how that's impacting our health and our lives. And then you have the option to create accountability tribes. This is optional, but encouraged. If there is someone in the group that you're connected with, I encourage you to become an accountability partner with them or create a small group, no more than 4 or 5 people, so that you can be cheerleaders for each other and walk this journey side by side. And then this is on your timeline. It's a self-paced course. You get flexible learning options because the reality is that everyone learns differently at a different pace. Courses will be slow fed into the group, but you can do them at your own pleasure. If you just want to come to the biweekly coaching calls or just do the workbook, that's okay too. You have options and you get lifetime access. As long as the program is active, you will have access to it. Go at your own pace. Don't feel rushed. It's designed to be a 4 to 6 month program, but sometimes life happens. I get it. I just skipped that. Are you determined to make this your healthiest year ever? I can help. Here's what I want to teach you to finally achieve your weight loss goals, to feel amazing and be the healthiest person you know. Break free from what's been holding you back and learn how to co-collaborate with God, have lasting, sustainable health, creating new habit, and of course, living the abundant life that you were created for. So now we're going to talk the awkward money conversation. We all make purchasing decision based on our values. So when you're looking back 20 years from now, what do you feel will have the most impact on your family? The $6 a day coffee habit, those monthly car payments, the expensive weekend getaways, eating out 3 or 4 times a week, expensive trips to Disneyland. Truly ask yourself, how healthy are you? What is your health worth? Can you spend another year yo-yo dieting or doing the same things over and over again with the same results? Do you want to have lasting holistic health or not? How many more years will you wait to see if you're going to heal? Are these excuses that you have holding you back? How do you get started? You book a call with me. So go to bit.ly/book a call with Amy. And don't forget there's an A in there. So book a call with Amy. And let's talk about facing your fears. Where is fear holding you back? Identify your fears. You want to face your fears. Identify limiting beliefs. And do you have any self-fulfilling prophecies? Are you saying, well, everything I've ever done in the past has never worked before? That could be a combination of identifying a limiting belief and a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then you want to just take action. Remember that momentum doesn't happen and motivation doesn't happen until you take action. And then here are a couple of common questions that come up. Can you guarantee that I will be successful? Unfortunately, I cannot make that guarantee. I guarantee that if you do everything that I suggest that you do and do the work, that you will feel better. And just within a couple of weeks, I've had clients tell me within 2 days they had more energy. I can't guarantee you'll be successful because I can't guarantee you'll do the work. And then how long does the self-guided course take? It's up to you. You can probably do the entire course in 4 months or so. You could do it in a couple of weeks, really, if you wanted to just go through every single course quick or phase quickly. But really, I would suggest that you take about 6 months to go through the program. And then I'm too busy right now. Is this a good time to take the course? That's really up to you. If you're busy, then I would look at your thoughts around what's causing the busyness. And can you take some of the things off your plate, like we had talked about with overwhelm, with setting boundaries, outsourcing, things like that? What's the benefit of the group coaching dynamic and the Vibrant Woman? The benefit to group coaching is that you see that other people have the same thoughts that you have. And when one person is getting coached, you can take what they're learning and apply it to yourself. And sometimes you go into these coaching calls without any questions. And then somebody asks a question and you realize that you did have the same question. And so the group coaching dynamic is amazing and very helpful. I use it for my group coaching for my personal business. I have a coach that does business coaching and I'm on every single call because I don't want to miss out. Even if I feel like I'm not where I need any additional business coaching, I still jump on those calls. Is this only for women? Yes, it is. Right now, I'm just working with women. So the group is only for women. How soon can I start? The group is open, so you can start. Just book a call with me and we can get you all set up. And I just want to thank you. I am so thankful that you joined me today. I appreciate you giving me an hour of your time. I do want to make sure that we are friends. I am at Amy Wadlington on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I think I'm on TikTok as well. I don't have very many videos on there, but everything is at Amy Wadlington. You can email me at hello@amywadlington.com and find me online at www.amywadlington.com. Thank you so much. I hope you have a very blessed day, and I hope that this helps you set yourself up so that you can break free from the things that are holding you back.